the last game of the qualifying tour. Just a quick word before we look at the squad.
Yeah, last game, last squad is this game, and of course the New Zealand friendly, and that's the last hurrah. So yeah, it's been a like we won't sugarcoat it, Paul. It's been a terrible campaign results wise. We started with a lot of hope. There was a lot of build up to this European qualifiers. We're hoping that maybe we could have we got a terrible draw, Paul, to be honest. But considering the quality of players we have, many people before the start of the tournament didn't think we would finish in the top two, but we haven't really given ourselves the best sort of chance. If we were in the position of Greece are, that's the position I would hope that we would have been in, at least challenging the top two, the Netherlands and the French. But we sadly haven't. We've lost both games against France. We lost at home to the Netherlands, and we're going into this game now on Saturday with only 6 points against home and away against Gibraltar. But it's going to be Kenny's last competitive game as well. By all accounts.
That's not 100% confirmed yet, though.
It's not 100% confirmed, but you can see where the wind is blowing too, Paul. To be quite honest with you, I think Kenny, as an interview where he did, where he said, if it is my last game, he said, look, I'm proud of bringing all these players through, and he just hasn't got the results. So it was the results. The game that I was at against the Greece 2-0 loss, I think that really did huge damage for him, and booed off at half time. Fans losing interest in the game after about 70 minutes because they just couldn't get behind any of the play that was happening, and it was a sad night. And I know obviously the one against Gibraltar, but you expect that at least. I know it was good. It was good to get the victory, a 4-0 win, but yeah, I really hope that Kenny would work for him. I think he's tried a lot bringing on these new players. He had to, because he inherited a squad that was getting very old, and there was a gap between the old players and the new players coming in, and you had to fill that gap with a lot of inexperienced players. But like many people have said this, and the people and the person that will benefit most from Kenny's work, bringing all these players in, getting caps, getting experience, two qualifying campaigns behind him, will be the next manager probably. I think the FAI, there's even more trouble now with the FAI in terms of finance and stuff. Again, we're probably not going to get to that because we're just here previewing the games. But it's not in a healthy state. I think both of us agree with that. It's at a low ebb at the moment, Paul. And maybe, hopefully, with the last camp, the players going in now, people say, they haven't really done as well as they could have. I would hope that will drive them on. These players do want to play for Ireland. You can always sense that. It's just the lack of maybe experience and ability at the moment, but that hopefully will come over time because they're still very young players. A lot of them, some of the older players are getting pushed out now. You could say, James McLean's retiring now on Tuesday when the friendly. Seamus Coleman, I would say, this probably was his last campaign as well. He's had an awful lot of injury problems over the last 2-3 years, so I'm not finishing him off by any means, Paul, but I would say that he would probably retire in the next couple of weeks from the international fold. So it's going to be a change around, Paul, after Christmas, Paul, to be quite honest with you. The next game now, the next camp is probably a friendly in March because the playoff games are going to be happening around that time. I'd be amazed if Kenny was still in charge. I'm not having to go at him. I really want him to do well, but sadly it just hasn't worked out. Results, at the end of the day, people who've been with him or against him, it's just said the results have just been not been good enough. And
now we just look at the squad there. He's again sticking to the tried and trust that he hasn't really, because obviously he's going to look, if it's his last competitive game, he's going to go with the same group again with 3 goalkeepers as normal. I was just looking at the defenders there, and big disappointment there. Obi Daly, he transferred to Nottingham Forest from Norwich. He can't get a game in Nottingham Forest. He can't even get on the sub bench, I believe. He has no competitive game now. He might be playing in the reserve league or whatever it's called, but he has no first team action got since he left Norwich. Now, is he brought into the squad? Is he going to play him then, we'll say? If not, why is he bringing him in, we'll say? Because now, I'm sure he's an increased salary, but at Norwich he was a regular starter and getting regular games. The Norwich won the championship, but he has no competitive games got at the top level. So I don't know, just any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I suppose I was all defenders. I suppose himself and Matt Doherty, he's come on a couple of times to start the League Cup games with Wolves, so he's had some bit of game time. You're right. Nottingham Forest, I think they paid over 20 million for him, Paul, if I'm not mistaken. You might know, being a Forest fan yourself. and he hasn't got a kick. Now, to be fair, Forest have bought a lot of players last season and this season.
Too
They have a
many
big
players, I would
squad.
say. We better stick to the
Too,
Irish team.
probably too many players, and he just probably can't get looking now. Now, obviously, having a big move, I'm sure he's been professional, trying to train as hard as he can. But it's very hard to break into a team that maybe has a lot of players. You have to, once a few players are pressed at the back, they're probably entitled to keep their places. We could talk about the Irish squad again. Liam Scales,
Yeah.
he's really come on and off that, Paul. I don't know if you've seen it, but he got his chance because I think 2 or 3 central defenders for Celtic were injured. He was on loan last year, if I'm not believing, at Aberdeen. He's a former Shamrock Rovers player and UCD, if I'm not mistaken. And he really has impressed Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers, I think, said he didn't really know much about Liam Scales, didn't know the ability he had, but he has been fantastic for Celtic. He's played in the Champions League and he's getting games now. I thought he was a bit shaky in the game against Greece, but that was his first competitive match. That's new surroundings, new systems, new players. I think he'll come on an awful lot. I think he's a good passer of the ball. I think he has a good header. He can defend well, good clearance in the headers. I think he can read the game well. I think that he'll improve time and time again. When he comes up against better players, this would be big. I would say he would start, Paul, to be quite honest with you, because he starts against Greece. If I'm not mistaken, I think he starts against Gibraltar. So there's no reason why to drop him.
Yeah, and of course, and so it just goes to show if you're playing regular matches and the highest level possible, but you can beat regular competitive matches with that. And that's another thing that's affecting the players. A lot of the players just say they're not regulars on their team.
No, Paul, and that's the club teams are right, and that's the one. I know the Queven Keller is back. I think he was injured in the last squad, but he's back in now. That's the one thing. The goalkeepers, I think, Travers is playing, Bazzuno is playing, but Kelleher. I think Kelleher, if he was in a like some say, he's probably the best of the three, but we can't see it because he's not playing games. He's playing the games here now in the League Cup with Liverpool. I know they're still in it, and he's playing once every 3 weeks with the Europa League team that Liverpool play. But for me, I don't know about yourself, Paul, but like particularly with goalkeepers, I think you have to be playing week in, week out.
Yeah.
I think come the summer, because I don't think he'll leave in January. I don't think Klopp will leave a second choice player, particularly with Alisson and goals in case he gets injured. But come the summer, like last year, he has a huge decision to make. I know he'd probably I could see his reasoning. He's at Liverpool. He'd probably never play for as big a club again. And I'm not putting him down or anything like that, but he's at Liverpool.
Let's not forget about the money.
The money, yeah, and that comes into as well, Paul. He won't get as good a contract with a championship club because at the moment, if he was to leave, I can't say for definite that he would get a Premier League club at the moment because he's just not playing games, and he's a fine goalkeeper. But of what I've seen of him, there's been a couple of goals there because he's not playing regularly. There was a game I think at Anfield where I think there was a player clean through. Now, to be fair, I thought that the attacker sort of hit it. I wouldn't say he hit it straight at him, but I felt he should have saved it. And I think with regular game times, if he was playing with a higher standard of player, Premier League or Championship or whatever, if he was playing week in, week out, he probably would save that. Because the big criticism with a lot of people with Bazzuno is that he's inexperienced and he's only 19, 20, so he's really moved on from his days with Shamrock Rovers. Then he went to Manchester City. He went on loan to I think Portsmouth. So he's really built up, and people say, "Oh, he's made a few mistakes," but he's getting the experience. He's getting the game time. I think Bazzuno, hopefully, I've had fears for him, but I think in the last camp he did quite well, and I think he'll progress over the next couple of years because he's had that hard times, and he knows what it is like to be a goalkeeper in when you're down. But I think he'll improve. But with Kelleher, he's just not getting enough games.
No, one thing, sorry, for cutting across you. Have you a wire on your hand that's clicking or is this something amazing? No.
Oh, sorry. It might be the lead. I might be hitting off it. Can you hear me now? Okay.
You hear it, there was just something clicking like a click of a wire, but it's brand now. Talk away now.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just I think in terms of the defenders, we'll go back to the defenders. I think Shane Duffy's getting regular game time at Norwich. I'd like to see Ryan Manning get a chance. I know he probably didn't take his chance against Greece. I think he came on at half time and he didn't really make that much of an impact. Now, to be fair, they were 2-0 down and I totally accept it. But I would like to see him getting a chance. Probably maybe get a full half in the Dutch game and maybe start in the New Zealand game. I'd like to see how he goes in the system. Nathan Collins is a very good player for Brentford. He got the winner against West Ham. I think fine bullet of a header, and he'll come on. I think these players will come on eventually. I think they need to be. I think a lot of people have said that with Kenny, he's been too naive. He's praised the teams too much in terms of their ability. I think someone with an experienced manager would say, look, he'll realise their limits and he'll be honest with them. And I think he'll tell them straight. I think Kenny is almost too positive about the players, if you get me, Paul. And I think a bit of, like, I wouldn't say realism, but I think they are limited in terms of the players we've had in the past.
Look at the midfielders again. It's much the same. There's no great changes. Again, he's sticking to the tried and trusted. But look, if he's going to go out, he's going to go out with his players. Like, he's not going to be influenced by people. So this is just, to me, it's much the same. There's no change.
Yeah. To be fair, Paul, I don't really see other than, and there's a young player that Blackburn Rovers called Andrew Moore. Now he's in the under 21 squad. I thought maybe he would have been with a shout at getting into the senior squad this time, but Kenny has decided not to. I think he's going to be a fine young player. I think he's going to be a player for the future. I
think under 21 to a competitive game as well in their competition, so maybe he might lead them with that. Maybe that's possible.
That's right. Yeah, I think because like these games, the games against Holland and New Zealand friendly, they're pretty much dead rubbers for each pod. To be honest with you, their fixtures we just have to fulfill as part of the group. So I think the under 21s probably need him more than the senior squad, but he is going to be a player for the future. Jamie McGuire, there's talk there that by the time this probably goes out, Paul, he may be ruled out, or he may be proving his fitness. He's definitely doubt at the moment. Evan Ferguson as well. He didn't play against Sheffield United. The Derby said he's sort of carrying an injury. He didn't want to risk him. And like Brighton drew 1-1. So I say if Ferguson was fit, he would have brought him on to try and get a goal in the last couple of minutes. So that is a worry as well. You mentioned players not playing for their clubs. Mikey Johnson there, he hit an injury at the start of the season. He did well in the last season. He came on against Gibraltar, I don't think he came on against the Dutch as well earlier on the year. And he's very injury prone, they say, from Celtic. He hasn't got a game. He hasn't come on definitely in the Champions League matches, and I don't think he came on the weekend either against I think it was Aberdeen they were playing. So yeah, we've had a few players, Paul, particularly up in the forwards. Now Adamida has got a little bit of game time. I think he got the winner for Norwich against Cardiff City, if I'm not mistaken. Callum Robson's coming a little bit back into form with his club. I think he's getting a bit more game time. But other than Troy Parrott, of course, was injured in the last squad, so he's back into the team now.
And he's outside in Holland now playing with the club, I think.
He's outside in Holland playing Dutch League. Yeah, you're right. I can't for the life, I just gone blank on what club he's playing for. He's on loan there from. I think he's still contracted to Tottenham, but I think as far as I know, he's still out there on loan. And just also old Bennett, he's probably other than with himself and Ferguson, they're probably the two most informed players we have in the forward area for definite. I think he's done very, very well. I think he played very well against Liverpool in the 1-1 draw they had there a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Luton Town was
Luton Town, that's right. Luton Town, he got, I think, 86 minutes against Manchester United away to He lost 1-0, so they've been unlucky. So I think he's come on leaps and bounds when we say to Rotherham. I think he was playing League One not so long ago in Championship, and now he's playing the Premier League. So, and I think he's an old Cork City player as well. So he's come through the ranks. He's put the work in, and it's been rewarded now with his international call-ups. And he's probably one of our best. He's probably, other than Ferguson, as I said, he's probably our most informed forward player.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So look, Noel, we'll just finish up now. So what are your thoughts? I know it's very hard to look forward to the game on Saturday. There might be full out. I presume Holland will have a fairly strong team. I think Holland's last game is against Gibraltar, so Holland will be all out, but they'll be at home. They'll be all out to win this game anyway. The last home game, they want to win this game. So I'm going to try and call a scoreline. It's very hard, I know, but
yeah, it's going to be tough right now. Obviously, with a bit of freedom. I think Irish players. I think Didier Jimenez has maybe said about something with the Irish players in terms of the groups. We always seem to play our best football when the pressure's off. When the groups we can't qualify, and we've actually done quite well, Paul, to be quite honest with you, against the top decent sides. We were leading 1-0 up to the 90 minutes against Portugal. Now we lost 2-1. Ronaldo came back and got 2 goals. I think we already lost 3-2 against Serbia. So we've actually put some good, decent performances, but haven't got the results away from home now. I'm speaking of. We had a couple of draws at home now as well. But I don't think it'd be. I wouldn't be as worried as I was away as like I was in the game against France when we were away. I don't think the Dutch are going to do that to us. I think I think it's going to be close enough, Paul. Quite honest, I think it'd be 1-0 or 2-1, probably win for the Dutch.